for West Virginia.
And a guy that averages from last season 11 points, 4 rebounds, also shoots 39% from the three-point line. A guy that can really spread the defense, something that West Virginia has at times desperately needed. We'll see today how much he actually does get to play. Bob Huggins said it's going to depend on him. He's got to come out and play within the offense.
Ahmad will not start, but we do expect to see him at some point today. Our head coach Chris Beard of Texas Tech in just his second season. What a job he has done here in Lubbock. As he's taken on Bob Huggins' West Virginia Mountaineers. Sold out here in Lubbock. School doesn't even start again until next week. So a lot of the students have come back early for this game between West Virginia and Texas Tech. The Red Raiders were in their scarlet uniforms. West Virginia were in their road blue. So buckle up. We already had an exciting one at Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence, along with former Purdue All-American Robbie Hummel. I'm Mark Neely. Jerry Pollard, Rick Crawford, Darren George, our officials. Jerry Pollard puts the ball in the air, and we are, well, he does not put the ball in the air.
The fake out. And this crowd.
You don't see that very often. Ball is in the air now, and it's West Virginia that has the game's first possession. Back into the hands of Carter. Still 13 on the shot clock. Look at the starters for West Virginia. You know Issa Ahmad in the starting lineup. Kanate down to 4 on the shot clock. The long baseline hook did not draw iron. Miles did not recognize that, and the shot clock expires.
And if you're Chris Beard, you could not draw up a better first defensive possession for your team. West Virginia pushed out. Texas Tech really pressuring. And Dexter Miles Jr. unaware of the shot clock.
So pressure right away. The inbounds, and it's stolen by West Virginia. A 3 from Miles. Harris, though, pushed Gray to get that rebound, and Wesley Harris will pick up the foul. But can they get the ball in bounds?
We saw it at shoot-around. They worked on their press break at length, and it's going to be really something today that they have to handle. And it can't just be Keenan Evans. It's got to be a group effort.
Evans gets it in to Naeem Stevenson. He got a little push there. Evans brings it across midcourt.
You attack this pressure, you're going to get some opportunities.
Zaire Smith, the freshman, misses the left baseline jumper. Carter cut off by Stevenson and Odiase. Kanate, a long-range 2, is just a little bit long off the back rim. Carter on Evans with help from Miles in the corner. Got a little push, lost it out of bounds, and it's West Virginia ball. So already a couple of Texas Tech turnovers.
And that's just what West Virginia does. I mean, they are trying to speed you up, and it's not necessarily having you turn it over, but they just get you going so fast. And right there, Keenan Evans gets down into no man's land into that corner. Got to handle the ball, got to keep it in the middle of the floor, got to be under control.
15 straight wins for West Virginia. That's the longest active winning streak in the nation. That's a 3 from Dexter Miles to open up the scoring.
Just a nice little pin down action there for Dexter Miles. Not shooting a great percentage, but certainly a guy that can fill it up and get hot.
Javon Carter picks up the foul there.
You see it right here. It's the little pin down, simple action. And just a breakdown from Texas Tech. Keenan Evans can't get screened like that.
Justin Gray lays it in. Gray dealing with a knee issue. There was some question as to whether he would play today, but he is in there. Though he seemed a little bit stiff in the shoot around. They definitely need Gray with Zach Smith out. And that's going to go to Texas Tech. Wesley Harris picks up his second foul, the offensive foul. Season number 11 for Bob Huggins at his alma mater. This is year 4, though, for the Press Virginia style of play.
And what a style of play it is. It really is fun to watch, and they speed teams up. You look at their win against Baylor, shot the ball so poorly, but the way they the rebound on the offensive end and their press force so many turnovers, they can stay in games and hang around.
Justin Gray taking the charge on that last play. That's 8 times this year he's done that for Texas Tech to lead them defensively. They keep a close eye on that stat. Gonna have to get rid of it, and a 5-second call, but we may have a foul first. Yeah. Jerry Pollard was going to make the 5-second call, but Rick Crawford, the baseline official, is whistling a foul on West Virginia that's going to supersede the 5-second call. And it goes on Issa Ahmad, who has just checked into the game. And he picks up a quick foul.
And talking to Bob Huggins today, prior to the game, he just said, you know, Issa's been a little sped up, and I think he's really excited to be back playing, understandably so. We'll see what kind of rhythm can he get in today. Can he play within this Mountaineer offense?
Evans gets by Carter, pulls up, tried to kiss it in. Zaire Smith with the emphatic finish on the putback.
Like he's coming off a trampoline.
Talk about some ups for that 6'5" freshman out of the Dallas area in Garland, Texas. Here's Ahmad.
Texas Tech doing a good job of pushing out this West Virginia offense, not allowing them to operate at the three-point line.
Deep three for Miles, but there's Kanate. And many times, Robbie, the best offense for West Virginia is a missed shot. That one didn't even draw iron.
And it's almost like those Michigan State teams we saw back in the late 90s, where offensively, maybe not the greatest of possessions, but hey, you get that thing up on the rim, you've got bigs and forwards that can crash in there from the perimeter and score the ball. Let's take another look at, my goodness, Zaire Smith coming out of nowhere.
Kanate's got the shoe ready. Have to keep an early watch on the fouls here. West Virginia already with 4 team fouls in this half, and Texas Tech is yet to be whistled for a foul. These are 2 very defensive-oriented teams. West Virginia allowing their opponents only an average of 65 points per game, and Texas Tech at 60. So we expect a defensive battle, I would assume, here today, Robbie. Hamilton now in the game. Tommy Hamilton for Texas Tech. Pass underneath for Culver. And there's Hamilton in the right place to put it in with the left hand.
Well, right place, right time. And Tommy Hamilton doing a great job of just being active and being around the ball. With a steal, 2 points for his team there.
Hamilton, a transfer, grad transfer from DePaul. And there's the first foul whistled on Texas Tech today. It's going to go on Jarrett Culver, the freshman. As I mentioned, defensively, both these teams very sound. West Virginia second in the conference in number of categories. They basically alternate 1 and 2 down the line.
And West Virginia may be the more known defensive product out of the 2 here, but Texas Tech, they turn you over as well. Both very good defensive teams.
And Issa Ahmad drains his first shot, a 3. And we'll see if that gets him in the flow here for West Virginia. A travel committed by Texas Tech. So that's going to be their 3rd turnover.
In their past matchups, Texas Tech has done a good job of handling West Virginia's pressure, and thus far, just a little disorganized, a little uncomfortable.
Tipped by Stevenson out of bounds, staying with West Virginia. Last year, these teams played an overtime game here in Lubbock and a double overtime game in Morgantown. It was a very good matchup, each winning on their home floor, and they're meeting for the first time this year in conference play. And doing it as a couple of very highly ranked teams, a top 10 matchup. Ahmad sets the screen for Miles. Carter elects to shoot the 3 and drains it.
Javon Carter right there really had a look initially. Did a good job of slipping out of the pick and roll. Man was late to the play. Usually when you shoot a shot like that, you're a little out of rhythm, but right there just rises up and fires.
They just had 8 points in their win over Baylor the other night in Morgantown. Here's a drive missed by Hamilton. Tip not there for Stevenson. West Virginia barely escaped with a win over Baylor the other night in Morgantown. Carter tries another three. And there is Machi Bender, and it rolls around and in for the native of Warsaw, Poland. West Virginia, just like that, has opened up a 7-point lead. Francis, they look to trap him on the sideline. Davide Moretti now in the game at one of the guard spots for Texas Tech.
In their run and jump, you have to make yourself available to the ball handler. Cannot leave him out there on an island.
Facing up, Hamilton, and he traveled. 4 turnovers already for Texas Tech. It's an early 7-point lead for the Mountaineers in Lubbock.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by 5-Hour Energy Shots. Get back to 100%. And in part by Fridays. And here, it's always Friday.
They played in Morgantown. That's a tough place to win.
And it was a tough place for us on that day as well. Just the fans are right on top of you, and it's just such a great environment. You throw it in with the way that West Virginia's played over the last 10 years or so. It's a place that you really got to go in. You got to execute. You got to handle their pressure. And a lot of teams have not been able to do that.
Ahmad, that's a 2-point shot, and it's a 10-0 run for West Virginia. They've upped it to a 15-6 lead.
We talked about Rick Issa Ahmad, a guy that can spread that floor. West Virginia certainly has guys that can drive the basketball. You get some guys to start knocking down some shots at a high percentage. And offensively, this team is scary.
Now Texas Tech needing a bucket. They've gone cold offensively. Hamilton with Ahmad there defensively. 5 to shoot. Hamilton forces up a 3. It's long. And the shot clock was expiring, but it's rebounded nonetheless by Lamont West. Miles looking. Now he'll use the dribble. Fire it cross court. Ahmad puts it up again. That time a little bit long.
Right now, Texas Tech needs to get things going into the paint. That last possession we saw, a lot of ball moving around the perimeter, nothing going to the rim.
Lorenzo Diace tried to feed it into a streaking Gray, and Ahmad there to get a hand on it. Coming up this afternoon on ESPN, a college hoop doubleheader for you. Number 21, Kentucky taking on Vandy at 4 Eastern. And then it's 20th ranked North Carolina against Notre Dame from South Bend. Both these games part of our Saturday showcase presented by 5-Hour Energy and also streaming live on the app. Keenan Evans. They want to go inside, but instead settled for the 3, and Evans is well short, but underneath Zaire Smith. And the shot clock expires. That's the second time we've seen a shot clock violation when the teams didn't recognize that a shot didn't hit the rim.
Well, we saw it on the initial possession where the ball got knocked out of bounds. Justin Gray able to slip a ball or a down screen, actually get something going to the rim. It was deflected out of bounds, but really right now this Texas Tech offense has nothing going except throwing the ball around that perimeter. And that's just not how you can beat a team like West Virginia. They're going to pressure. You got to attack their pressure and get things going to the rim.
Both these teams, 2 of the best in the nation at scoring points off turnover. Gray reaches and the hold. He was trying to keep Ahmad from taking it to the rim. First on Justin Gray. 7 minutes gone. And the 15-6 lead for West Virginia. Carter. He does shoot it. Rebounded off the floor. Finally scooped up by Jared Culver. Evans trying to run past Ahmad into a crowd and somehow finished. And it's an and one.
He is a special guy, and right there, nice advanced pass by this Texas Tech offense. You get that basketball to Keenan Evans. And man, just a special left-hand finish right there. Takes the contact. There's an opportunity to get an and one now.
Foul called on Sags Konate, his first. Evans, the top free throw shooter for Texas Tech at 83%. Does complete the three-point play, and it's a 6-point game. Teddy Allen now in there for West Virginia. He sets the screen for Dexter Miles. Konate on the block with Hamilton. Back out for Miles. He puts it up. In and out. Rebounded by Keenan Evans.
Texas Tech doing a good job of showing bodies at Konate there, then getting back to contest Dexter Miles' shot.
Evans passes up the three. Hamilton will not. He'll shoot it. That's around and out. Carter finds Allen. His pass looking for Miles, but Evans swats it out of bounds. Beetle Bolden will come in for Miles for West Virginia. And Josh Webster, a junior transfer from St. Louis, comes in for Texas Tech. You mentioned Justin Gray battling a knee issue. I don't think there's no question he's not 100%.
Right.
So we may see more of Webster than you usually see.
And Webster going to be tested with this West Virginia pressure.
West ran into a crowd, and that's an offensive foul. The charge taken by Tommy Hamilton. It'll be Tech ball when we come back. Now let's take a look at Texas Tech head coach Chris Beard in today's Infinity Coaches Corner. Take an Infinity timeout in your day and vote for your favorite coach and charity. And vote for your favorite coach and charity. The numbers in 2 seasons for Chris Beard came from UALR, Arkansas Little Rock, where his team actually beat Purdue in 2 overtimes in the NCAA tournament. It's a long pass for Stevenson.
Really, what a great catch by Stevenson. We saw him work on a shoot around today. Good job tracking it down, saving this possession for Texas Tech.
Webster. And that last sequence for West Virginia initially looked like they put the foul on Konate, which would have been his second, but it was actually DeMont West who picked up his first. 4 on the shot clock. Stevenson, an off-balance deep 3. Try to save it on the sideline. Zaire Smith can't, and it's West Virginia ball.
And really just another almost wasted possession for Texas Tech. Not a lot of action. West Virginia doing a good job forcing them out away from that three-point line. And Texas Tech having to operate so far from the basket. Hard to initiate offense when you're being pressured like that. Got to get somebody driving the ball to the rim.
Well, Tech head coach Chris Beard told us today he likes his team to surrender 10 or fewer turnovers in a game. He said for a team like West Virginia, a dozen's acceptable, a dozen or fewer, but they've already given it away 5 times.
And just not, they're not just dead ball turnovers. They've been turnovers where West Virginia's been able to take the basketball and score. They have 8 points off those turnovers.
Teddy Allen
there because Teddy Allen was really wide open off that inbounds play.
Hamilton, who picked up the foul at the other end in the previous sequence. Now away from the ball, Jerry Pollard, the baseline official, is going to call a foul on West Virginia. Well, our first big Monday of the season. On ESPN's a Sonic blockbuster. Marvin Bagley, number 7 Duke, battling number 18 Miami at 7. Then a Big 12 matchup. Number 12 Kansas, number 2 West Virginia. Both games also available on the ESPN app. Already in the bonus of 1-1. Keenan Evans hits the front end. After the 17th foul of the half against West Virginia, it comes not even midway through this first half.
I think even more so now, driving the basketball, really something Texas Tech can take advantage of. Have to run it in your offense, though. Out of control drives are no good against West Virginia if you're sped up. Have to be under control, run your offense, but take advantage of late closeouts when you can.
West Virginia led by as many as 9. That's down to 4. Stevenson thought they were about to break the other way. And it's a foul against Texas Tech. First on Stevenson.
Naeem Stevenson unhappy with the call. And I think he has good reason to be, because there was a lot of ball there. Really, Texas Tech, Mark, has done a very good job defending this West Virginia team. No easy looks. Contested most shots West Virginia's had.
Wow, what a battle there between Culver and Kanate, able to put it in off the glass.
How about Kanate? I mean, a guy that has improved so much and helps him on both ends. He can spread the defense, shoot to 15 feet, but also a great shot blocker.
Too strong with the three from Culver, but the offside rebound for Tommy Hamilton. Hamilton trying to go back up. Ahmad stripped it. It goes out of bounds off Ahmad. We are midway through this first half from United Supermarkets Arena in Lubbock, Texas. Big 12 matchup. Number 2 West Virginia, number 8 Texas Tech, along with former Purdue All-American Robbie Hummel. I'm Mark Neely. Another top 10 matchup in the Big 12. Evans, Bolden made the contact and the foul on Vito Bolden. That's 2 on Bolden. So he's going to take a seat. They already have Wesley Harris on the bench with 2 fouls through the Mountaineers. And another 1-and-1 for Keenan Evans.
Well, just a smart play there by Keenan Evans. Vito Bolden, not necessarily the best defender. Bob Huggins said he's improved, and he's gotten better on that end. But now that you're in the bonus, you see a defender like James Bolden on you got to drive him to the rim.
Evans a perfect 4 of 4 from the line so far for the native of Richardson, Texas, out of Berkner High School. Stays perfect at the line. And the lead is 4 for the Mountaineers. Kanate. Gray again with the defense. That's the second time today he's been there to take a charge.
And as a senior, you've been through these types of games. Kanate doing a good job getting his defender off balance. But Justin Gray is right there. Great help side defense outside of that charge circle. That is exactly how it's done.
So 2 fouls on Kanate. He's to the bench. Machi Bender back out for West Virginia. Evans trying to run past Bender, but kicked it to the wing for Francis. I'm not sure why he didn't take the first shot driving to the bucket.
Yeah, he easily could have shot that. Texas Tech still just a little out of sync on the offensive end.
Timeout here in Lubbock. We have 9:22 to play in the first half, and West Virginia's up by 4. Without a field goal, and they're down 4, so it's not a huge deficit here, Robbie, but they still really have not seemed to click offensively.
Yeah, and offensively they haven't been in sync. They're shooting just 33% from the field, but defensively done a pretty good job on this Mountaineer team. West Virginia not shooting the basketball great, 43%. Got to keep handling their pressure, though. Cannot turn the basketball over.
Evans grabs Miles. First on Keenan Evans. Evans Tuesday at Oklahoma in their loss at a team-high 19 points. Texas Tech really thought turnovers were the big factor in that loss to Trey Young and the Sooners. And they lost 75-65. They turned it over 15 times.
And it also didn't help they just shot the ball so poorly from 3 in the second half, just 15%. Not going to win a lot of games like that.
Carter's shot is short. Odiase and Bender out front.
And we see Davide Moretti now in. Really going to be tested by this West Virginia defense with Keenan Evans out.
Jumper for Justin Gray. It's a 2-point game. And that gets the crowd back into it.
How about Justin Gray? Unsure if he was going to play. And he's made big plays on both ends of the ball.
Bender strips. Gray helped create the steal. Zaire Smith lays it in. We're tied. A chance to give him the lead from the line with 8:13 to play in the first half.
Well, how about Justin Gray? And we were just talking about him. Knocks down the jumper on one end and makes a big defensive play, knocking the basketball free, and gets it to Zaire Smith, their most electric finisher in transition, who does a great job of getting his head to the rim and finishes for the and one.
Smith, a 78% foul shooter. I think you take 78, 80% from the line from any freshman in the nation. Tech takes the lead. Ahmad. Not off by much. He has 5 points, and this is his first game of the season. Stevenson the drive in a crowd. Taken away. West. Numbers for West Virginia, but then Moretti fouled Miles. So it's a timeout after the foul on Moretti in a one-point game.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball.
TCU are now leading Trae Young in Oklahoma, a 6-point game. That's on ESPNU. Young's got 26 points. Let's go back to Mark and Robbie.
And thank you. It's a 7-0 run right now for Texas Tech to give the Red Raiders a 1-point lead with 7:42 to go in the first half from Lubbock. West Virginia ball out of the timeout. Miles trying to get past Moretti. Stopped at the baseline.
Really good job there of following the scouting report. They walked through that in their walkthrough today.
That's a three. Nice defense from Moretti that time on Dexter Miles.
And they were so locked in to what West Virginia was trying to do there. Dexter Miles coming back off the screen. Good job by Moretti to be right there.
Smith sealed off by West. Stevenson, a bullet pass looking for Moretti, and once again Texas Tech just cannot connect. And you can even go back to the previous trip down the floor for them. They had some issues there with Stevenson driving.
Well, yeah, and we've talked about how you have to drive the ball all night on this West Virginia defense, but it's not necessarily for you. You see right here, there's 3 guys coming over to block that shot. That means people are open, whether it's on the perimeter or you're big in the paint. You just have to make sure you find them. Have to understand that it's a good drive. You just have to know what it is. It's not for you all the time.
Ahmad decides to give it to West. A spin. Carter, the defender, already fell down. 5 to shoot. That almost was the 3rd time that Gray's taken a charge today, but it's a blocking call instead, and it's the 2nd foul on Gray, and it's going to put West Virginia at the line for a 1-and-1.
That's a tough one for Justin Gray, because I really thought he was there. Good job by Javon Carter making something out of nothing, but yeah, to me, that's a charge.
And it takes him out of the game.
Yeah, it's a huge play, huge swing in the game for a guy that maybe hasn't scored a ton tonight, but he has certainly made his presence felt on both ends of the floor.
And he's a guy that's dealing with a knee injury, but he certainly hasn't been shy about sacrificing the body.
But you know what? That's what he is. He's a winner. He's a player that's been through kind of it all here, been through a coaching change, and he's bought in. And he makes winning plays, whether it's on the defensive end or sacrificing the body. And you see him on the exercise bike right now. You said it. He's not 100%, but he's out here giving everything for his team.
The 2 fouls, we may have seen the last of him in the first half. Carter did hit the front end and splits the pair. So we're tied up as we're under the 6.5-minute mark. Culver, too strong off the glass, and Ahmad rebound. Quick outlet. Carter knows he has Miles on the near side. Ahmad. That was not a goaltend. That was clean on the way up, but it's kept by West Virginia. Ahmad tries again. This time he scores and one.
Talk about persistence right there. Issa Ahmad doing a good job of kind of finding himself in that trail spot, getting some dribble penetration, gets his shot blocked, but stays with it. And just a nice take there. Goes right through the defense. You see him just kind of hang out here on the baseline. Gets it going.
Stolen back, West. An emphatic block by Zaire Smith excites the crowd. But the bad part of that is they just turned it over again. They're having trouble getting it out.
And they've really struggled. But good job by Zaire Smith of staying in the play, not giving up. Way to not compound your mistakes.
That's a three from West. Good. That was a tough shot.
A really tough shot. And he's been quiet tonight. Have not heard his name called often, but he's a guy that's really worked on his game, made improvements, and has really been a good scorer for this Mountaineer team.
That was his first shot of the game and made three. He has 3 rebounds as well. Here's the drive. Keenan Evans got a step on Ahmad and slams it home.
Well, he's one of the best players in the Big 12 Conference, and you give him any space, he's going to go make a play.
Carter. Fans here wanted to walk. He shoots the 3 instead and nails it to quiet the crowd, except for the chorus of boos.
He plays with such a poise. He makes big shots, and this is not Texas Tech.
Wow.
Has to be better at breaking this press.
Just throw it to midcourt. Easy steal for Miles. Carter shoots again. Deflected and taken by Keenan Evans.
To me, though, they're catching the basketball so close to the baseline, there's just not any space for them to operate down there.
Too long with the 3 from Zaire Smith. West looking around, finds Carter. Javad back to West. And he traveled first, heading to the rim.
Man, Zaire Smith, he is everywhere.
Well, we've got an NBA Sunday special for you on ESPN, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Portland and Minneapolis to take on the Northwest Division leading Timberwolves. And you can catch it on the ESPN app as well. Your former NBA team, Minnesota, playing well.
They are. They got rid of the cancer that I was, and they've all of a sudden become really good.
Had a couple seasons with the T-Wolves.
They have added some really nice pieces to their team up there, and also a really good coach in Tom Thibodeau, and they certainly have it rolling.
Making sure they have all the bookkeeping right at the table with our lead official, Jerry Pollard. Now goes over to Chris Beard, who mentioned something. Well, even though Texas Tech's been turning the ball over at a high rate, West Virginia has only hit one of their last 8 shots. Hamilton.
Got to come back and get the ball. Man, having your center break the press against West Virginia, that's a tough way to live right there.
Francis. Gonna get that on the block on Bolden.
Brandon Francis really just put his head down and was getting to the rim regardless, and maybe fortunate there. Bob Huggins not happy with the call. I'm not sure I blame him, because he ran Vito Bolden right over.
And that's a big call for Bolden, because that's his 3rd foul. Bob Huggins letting Jerry Pollard know about that call. Carter was getting a quick rest. He's back to the scorers table along with West for West Virginia. As Bolden comes out, so does Teddy Allen. Allen's been quiet, only attempted 1 shot in his 5 minutes.
Teddy Allen, a player that needs to find consistency in his game. He's so talented, really can get to his right hand, really can post up, so physical, and that's what you love about him. Not the best shooter right now, and he's had his issues at the three-point line, but a guy that can really bring a nice dimension out of the post for a guard for this Mountaineer team.
Just over 4 minutes to go in the first half. In Lubbock, a 4-point lead for West Virginia in the ball. Carter hesitated, goes to West. Tough jumper left side. A back rim miss. Skying for the rebound, Naeem Stevenson. Into the front court. Left side three. Brandon Francis has been arguably their best three-point shooter this season. He nails a big one to make it a one-point game.
And a good job by Naeem Stevenson to keep that basketball in the middle, be under control, and find your shooter.
A hold on Texas Tech. Big three from Francis.
And Texas Tech finally getting something going on the three-point line. Brandon Francis says hello.
Teams will rebound and both teams are tough.
It's like looking into a mirror.
Look like looking in the mirror, like me and Fonz.
Mark is good.
Oh, looking in the mirror. Hey, by the way, Fonz, Keenan Evans picked up the foul before we went to break, so that's his second. So he has come out. So that's a key loss most likely for the rest of the half with 3:23 to go for Texas Tech.
And a guy that has done a good job breaking the press. We're going to see Josh Webster come in here. Guy that hasn't played big minutes for this Texas Tech team. He's going to be depended on amongst other guards here to handle this basketball.
Senior Miles with a couple of free throws for West Virginia. They led by as many as 9, as you just heard. The lead now 3 for the Mountaineers. Webster running the point here. Stevenson baseline, taking it to the rim, but couldn't finish, but apparently some contact there underneath the basket. And a West Virginia foul.
Nice flare action there for Texas Tech. Naeem Stevenson finds himself in the corner. Opportunity to dribble drive. Good job going up, drawing contact, and getting to the rim.
First foul on Monchi Bender.
You have to think with Kanate out, really, Texas Tech can drive the ball and not have to worry about a shot blocking presence with Bender in the game.
Kanate on the bench with 2 fouls. Wesley Harris picked up 2 early for West Virginia. Bolden has 3s on the bench for Tech. You have Justin Gray and Keenan Evans each with 2 fouls on the bench.
Teams really struggling with foul trouble right now.
Culver out. He's replaced by one of the other freshmen for Chris Beard, Zaire Smith.
We had to think coming into this game, Mark, 2 best defensive teams in the Big 12. And we're looking at a 28-27 score right now. It's been about what we figured.
Yeah, looking at a game in the 60s here. When it's all said and done. Bender, but Francis fell down but was pushed.
Such a frustrating foul there for Daxter Miles, because you fouled 94 feet from the rim. Texas Tech certainly having their struggles scoring the basketball, but just a ticky-tack foul. Good job by Tommy Hamilton of staying straight up. And wow, did it touched? It's like
they're calling on Miles, as you mentioned, his second. Chase Harler's going to check in most likely for Miles after this first free throw from Francis. Logan Rout's also going to check in for West Virginia. He's at the scorer's table. So here comes Harler and Routes. Harler averages about 15 minutes per game.
But gave them great minutes at Baylor. Came in and really made an impact. The offensive end of the floor, 7 points, 2 assists.
All that 19 minutes off the bench in that game. The free throws have given Tech the 1-point edge. Our 7th lead change of the first half in Lubbock.
West Virginia running their motion offense.
Carter, bam!
Better find him. Right there. Thing is locked and loaded.
3rd 3 of the half for Javon Carter. He leads all scorers with 10 points. Long pass. Francis driving on route. And one. No! Wow, Francis commits the offensive foul.
Ryan Stevenson did a good job of handling that pressure initially. And the bang-bang play there. Issa Ahmad gets there just in time, and we're going the other way.
Yeah, that was Ahmad who came in late to take that charge. Here is Ahmad. First game of the season for Issa Ahmad. He's 3 of 6 from the field, 7 points, a couple of rebounds in 14 minutes. Loses it, able to get it back. The crowd thought he pushed Francis down, and the fourth 3 of the half for Javon Carter.
A tough play there for Texas Tech, because you knock the ball away and it ends up in that man's hands. He's going to knock it down.
Texas Tech needs time, and the crowd not happy with that last sequence, as West Virginia is suddenly back up by 5 with just over a minute and a half to play. Javon Carter, 13 points, 4 made field goals. They've all been threes.
Here we see it. This little post the basketball away, and maybe a forearm there to the chest. The referees say play on, and Javon Carter finds himself wide open.
West Virginia team fighting some foul issues. Getting some valuable minutes as usual from Javon Carter. Even though the numbers are down, you have to keep in mind you're getting into the grind of Big 12 play.
Yeah, and he hasn't shot the basketball maybe the way he had in his first 12 games, but he's still done other things. I mean, he's a triple-double threat almost every night. He contributes at so many ends, whether it's defensively or finding his teammates or even rebounding the basketball.
He's a guy that seems like he's played himself into the NBA draft. Some of the scouts say he would be a late first-round pick, early second right now.
If you can make threes and you can guard, there's certainly a place for you in that league.
Stevenson just seemed to kind of fall down, and Bob Huggins has his hands on top of his head. It's like, whoa, what happened?
Right now, both coaches not happy with some of the whistles they've gotten here. Really, Texas Tech's best offense has been getting to the free throw line. I mean, that's really been their main source of points.
They're now 13 of 13 from the line. Texas Tech. Was there some contact?
Let's see. He dribbles to his left. And
yeah, maybe the knee from West. Hard to tell, but
some contact, incidental, but you know, he did trip him, I guess. So he goes to the line and knocks 2 down.
And as Robbie just mentioned, it's been the free throw line. It's kept Texas Tech in the game.
I think to me, with some of these whistles we've seen, I'd rather just see it be play on. Keep these guys on the floor, both teams.
Ahmad, the putback. 9 points for Issa Ahmad.
And that's really where you think Issa Ahmad is going to make a huge difference for West Virginia, because he's such a big body, and right there really just punishes Texas Tech for that too.
Stevenson needed the work just to get it into the front court. Bounce pass. Great play, but they can't finish. Hamilton missed it.
And a great pass from Stevenson there in the pick and roll. Tommy Hamilton's got to go to the rim and dunk that one.
We got about a 3-second or so difference. Shot clock, game clock. West Virginia is going to eat as much of the clock as they can.
We're going to see a little pick and roll here with Javon Carter, and Texas Tech going to try to trap him to get the ball out of his hands.
Tough shot. Wow! Carter on fire. 15 first half points. Tech yet well short, and that's the end of the first half. But what a half for Carter. 15 points, and Ahmad had 9. The Alfa Romeo halftime report coming up right now with Adnan Burke, LaFonso Ellis, and Seth Greenberg. We got a good one going here in Lubbock, fellas. We prepare to start the second half. West Virginia leading Texas Tech by 7, 38-31. So happy you could join us on this Saturday in the Big 12 along with former Purdue All-American Robbie Hummel. I'm Mark Neely. When we talked with Coach Huggins right before tip, we said, what can we expect from Issa Ahmad today? And he kind of shrugged his shoulders and said, we're all going to find out together. Probably pretty happy with the first half, 9 points.
Yeah, and he really said he's going to dictate his playing time, and when you play well, you're going to get a lot of it. He's really done a good job today. 9 points, 2 rebounds, really been active on the floor. Been able to spread that defense from the three-point line, but also do some work on the offensive glass. But to be honest with you, Mark, he hasn't been the story. It's really been Javon Carter, and just a guy that's a big-time player. And you look at what he's been able to do in his career even. He's made big shots, and today he continued to do that from the three-point line, really making Texas Tech pay. And at the end of the half, you're going to trap me. Hey, I'm going to get to the baseline. She just step back, one-legged fadeaway. Really an impressive performance. And those two guys, Mark, have been really the only two for West Virginia that have had anything going on the offensive end.
And they have scored 24 of the 48 points, 38 points, I should say, for West Virginia in the first half. Carter, 5 of 10 from the field, 4 of 6 three-point shooting with the 15 points. He did come out for a few seconds, but was credited with playing all 20 minutes of that first half. Texas Tech in their scarlet uniforms with the first possession of half number 2.
I would expect Keenan Evans to really exert himself here. Got in foul trouble.
Dexter Miles picks up the foul. Look at the first half numbers. Points off turnover. A dozen for West Virginia, 7 for Tech. Tech turned it over 10 times. Chris Beard told us he'd like 12 or 2.
Yeah, and it could have been a lot worse than that. Cannot have live ball turnovers. If you're going to turn the ball over, it's got to be one of those where you throw it out of bounds.
Evans may be on Carter, and it is second on Javon Carter. You know, fouls can quickly become an issue here in this half for West Virginia, as West, Harris, and Kanate all had 2 fouls at the half, as did Miles, who's already picked one up, and Bolden picked up 3 fouls in just 2 minutes played. Another story in the first half, Robbie, really is the free throw line for Texas Tech. They went a perfect 14 of 14, and Evans picks up where they left off hitting the first free throw of the second half.
Well, it was mostly their best offense, and you got to credit them. Take advantage when they got there. Monster Jinx lives.
They missed their first free throw after 15 in a row. Shot clock under 10. High pass, but brought down by West. Lost it. Gets it back. Tried to find a streaking Carter. Taken away by Tech. Smith looking around like, let's get us everybody up here in this front court and see how they can run some offense.
Good decision there by Zaire Smith to pull that back out. Not force the action there.
Evans thought about that 3. Stevenson finds Gray. Odiase from 16 around and out. Grabbed by Kanate in the corner. This is a West Virginia team, number 2 ranking, their highest ranking in 58 years, and they come in with a 15-game winning streak. Lost their opener in Germany to Texas A&M. Got the longest active winning streak, trying to beat Tech at home, where they have not been beaten this year. Haven't lost at home since they lost to Kansas at the end of the regular season last year. Kanate is fouled.
And a really good job by Kanate to keep that basketball alive. He's so active on the glass. You love what he brings to this Mountaineer team, and right there steals a possession.
And gets a 3rd foul on Keenan Evans, which is important.
Huge play.
Wesley Harris picked up a couple of early fouls. Didn't see much first half time. Misses the 3. Kanate. A little slow getting up. They're saying Tech touched it last. It's staying with West Virginia.
Sagaba Kanate, so active on the boards here and doing such a good job of just keeping basketballs alive. You see this effort.
Maybe it went off Odiase last. Tough to tell. Into Miles. Missed the bunny. Kanate back up. He'll go to the line for 2.
So far, he has been the story of this half. Texas Tech unable to keep him off the offensive glass, and he's kept balls alive. Now we get a chance to go to the line and get 2 points for a West Virginia offense that thus far in the first 2 minutes here has not really been able to get anything going.
No blocks, though, for Konate in this game so far, which is a bit of a story for him. He's second in the conference in blocks with 47. Only Mo Bamba of Texas has more, and Konate had a career-high 7 blocks the other night on Tuesday against Baylor.
And the way he does it is really what is impressive. His numbers also very good, but he can block shots with either hand. And for a big man, that is a definite skill. So many guys are just good with their dominant hand. Konate able to go up. Allows you to challenge both right and left-handed drivers and avoid fouls.
Mountaineers led by as many as 9 in the first half. They're back up to an 8-point lead. Texas Tech had a very brief 1-point lead in the first half. And the Red Raiders have been playing from behind most of this game. Well, Wesley Harris only played 2 minutes in the first half because he picked up 2 fouls. That's his third.
Smart play there by Zaire Smith, just ripping the basketball right through Wesley Harris's arms, and been a frustrating night for Harris. Has not been able to stay on the floor with foul trouble, as you said it, Mark.
Zaire Smith, the long 2.
That's one where he's going to drive that basketball. It's a clear out for him. He's got space. Right there, he just settled.
Carter off with the 3. Zaire Smith rebound. You could probably say that a lot today, as now Webster's being chased in the backcourt by Carter and West.
Got numbers.
Zaire Smith giving it up. Hamilton tries to reverse. West has it for West Virginia. Carter high off the glass for 2.
What a finish with the offhand there by Javon Carter. He continues to really have a strong game here in Lubbock.
Largest lead of the game for West Virginia at 10 points. A 3 from Gray. Konate grabs the rebound, but wait, they're going to say that's on West Virginia.
Josh Webster getting himself in a little bit of trouble over there, but finds his big man. Really a good job getting into that swing action. That's maybe their best shot of the afternoon. Unfortunately, Justin Gray just unable to knock it down.
Zach Smith, right foot injury. They actually looked like put a cast around it we saw today, so looks like that right foot injury is going to keep Zach Smith not only out for today but for a while for Texas Tech, and that's unfortunate. Guy who has led Texas Tech in blocks and rebound each of his first 3 years. And he was really a guy in the matchups in West Virginia. He was an important piece to help break that press.
And a lot like Justin Gray, just a guy that's a winner for this program. And you hope to see him get back as soon as possible, because he means a lot to this team.
Francis with some nifty ball handling. Kisses it in. A bucket that Texas Tech needed, but Carter races down the floor and came to a skidding stop and traveled.
And that is the first time all day that Javon Carter has looked a little out of control. Normally so poised, but right there gets going a little too fast and turns the basketball over.
Three fouls for Keenan Evans. He's got to be careful. That's their first turnover of the half, but 11th of the game. Konate on Stevenson. Just forces it up. Air ball on the 3 attempt.
We're going to see somebody sub in for West Virginia. I don't know who it's going to be, but well, Konate's going to come out.
It's going to be Logan Rout, who actually got a little time at the end of the first half, and Bob Huggins did not like that shot apparently, and brings in Rout. Konate has done a lot right today. That was not one of the examples of that.
That is not his game. And with 17 on the shot clock, he should never shoot that shot.
Evans runs past Ahmad, dumps it off. Odiase in a crowd. Open jumper. Keenan Evans is short with it. A tough rebound for Ahmad. His 4th of the day. Carter in the lane. The floater from 14. Splash.
How about some touch there? Nice little floater. Put it up high where nobody could get it. He continues to be the best player on the floor.
The game high 19 points. The lead back to 10. Bounce pass down low. Route defending Odiase, who adjusts to the other side of the bucket and lays it in.
Ian Stevenson's been in such really a rhythm in that pick and roll. You've seen him make plays all afternoon.
I tell you what, if Carter hit that, that was quite an effort. Foul on West Virginia. It's going to be Texas Tech ball when we come back to Lubbock almost 5 minutes into the second half.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66. Proud
again today. 15 points at the half. He's tacked on 4 more here in the second half and has gotten a number of open looks.
Yeah, and on some of these looks, you know, he's had a couple where they've been uncontested, where Texas Tech has just lost them, but a few of them, they've been in the right position. But you've got to have a hand up on a guy that's as talented as Javon Carter, and if you don't, you know, he's going to make you pay. With really good players, you've got to make it as difficult as you possibly can, and getting a hand in your face, in a shooter's face, really does lower the percentage, and thus far, Texas Tech has struggled in that regard.
West Virginia's pressure backs off. And Moretti now in the game for Texas Tech, but Francis doing the ball handling into the corner, picks up his dribble now to Stevenson.
West Virginia does such a good job at denying guards. So hard to swing the basketball against this defense.
3 from Stevenson. And once again, you just got a feeling here, Robbie, not the shot they wanted.
And not in rhythm. They have not been able to get anything going out of their motion offense. It hasn't produced good looks.
Carter trying to create, had it knocked out of bounds. It stays with the Mountaineers.
And you almost sense that it's almost a danger zone right now for Texas Tech. If West Virginia can get some things going on this end of the floor, it really could spell trouble for the Red Raiders.
Top 10 matchup here in the Big 12. Number 2 West Virginia, their highest ranking in 58 years since 1959. Tech's number 8 ranking, their highest in nearly 22 years, dating back to 1996 when they were in the Southwest Conference. Ahmad bowled into the defender Francis, who's on the floor. It's out of bounds, staying with West Virginia.
Well, I think Issa Ahmad got away with one there. He lowered his shoulder. And he's been aggressive all night, but right there, yeah, to me that is a charge.
Run down by Miles on the inbounds. Harris driving, looking for his first bucket. And a blocking foul on Texas Tech. Foul on Francis is his second. 2 quick fouls in the first half for Harris, so he only played 2 minutes of the first half. He's only attempted 1 shot, a missed 3. He's at the line for the first time, where he's a 68% shooter.
Been a guy that's given West Virginia some energy this season. Very good defender. Also able to get to the offensive glass. Really the prototypical Bob Huggins 3 or 4. They almost all, you know, seem to be the same body type. Goes back to almost that Deshaun Butler type look. Deshaun obviously put some work in the weight room. And Wesley Harris a little skinny, but so many guys in the same mold as Wesley Harris.
They've matched their 10-point lead. A bullet pass from Evans went off Zaire Smith, and then it's thrown away. Carter slices. Zaire Smith blocked it, ran into the back of Harris. It was kept in play by Evans, and then Harris takes a big tumble. A lot going on at the end of that play.
Zaire Smith all night, really. I mean, this guy has been a force. And he just comes over. Javon Carter thinks he's got an easy two. And just in seeing him jump, reminds me a lot of Gerald Green, the way he gets off the floor. Gerald Green, an elite athlete, plays for the Houston Rockets this season. But really, those guys that are such high-level leapers, they get off the floor so fast.
The foul was on Wesley Harris, his fourth. He's the first player on either team to 4 personals. So he has exited the game. Texas Tech trying to cut into this 10-point deficit. There's a three. Offensive rebound by Zaire Smith. Moretti a three. Still not seeing the ball get inside a lot for Texas Tech.
It feels a little bit rushed, and you know, you want to shoot threes off offensive rebounds, but that one probably one that Chris Beard would want to say, let's have that back, let's run some offense.
Zaire Smith reached in and stripped Ahmad, but fouled him. Texas Tech 1 of 11 in three-point shooting. It's been a rough day from beyond the arc as well for them. It's Ahmad at the line. Shooting 2.
You mentioned the poor three-point shooting. It was certainly a story in Norman on Tuesday as well. 15% in the second half. 24% for the game. They just have not been able to make shots in their last 2.
First game back for Issa Ahmad. 9 points, 5 rebounds. Is it 4 of 8 from the field? One of those a three-point shot.
And to me, he hasn't really come in here guns blazing trying to do too much. That can sometimes be a concern when you've got a guy that's as talented as him, trying to reinsert himself back into a really good team that's had a lot of success, obviously, on the season. But he's really played within the flow, and I think done a very good job for this Bob Huggins team.
Bob Huggins told us, hey, at a couple of practices not long ago, he was going too fast. The next practice too slow, and just trying to find that rhythm.
To find that rhythm, yes.
Odiase already flashed through the lane, but it stays on the perimeter. A nice pass. Zaire Smith with the flush.
Those are the types of plays you need when you go against a pressure defense. A little backdoor pressure release. Zaire Smith reads it perfectly and uses his athleticism to get to the rim.
Issa Ahmad tied up as it was taken by Culver, but the official says tie up. Possession arrow going to keep it with West Virginia.
West Virginia going to overplay, and Chase Harler kind of falls asleep with an athlete like Zaire Smith. You better stay awake, because that man is coming.
Shot clock at 14. Again, possession staying with the Mountaineers after the tie-up. Loop back deep for Miles. Culver's fortunate he didn't get a foul there. Miles a push-off. That's an offensive foul, as he pushed Keenan Evans to the floor, and that's the 4th foul on Miles.
We saw that shoot-around today. Chris Beard and his assistant coaches preaching that Dexter Miles wants to get to his left hand. And right there, Keenan Evans, a scouting report play, does a good job staying in front. Let's see if this defense can kind of spur on their offense. They've been so out of rhythm. You get a good shot, need to knock it down.
Driving lay-in for Culver. Crowd wanting to get back into it here for the Red Raiders. A three. Long from Harler. Tipped and it's an Odiase rebound.
They get a bucket here, and this place is going to go crazy.
Harler touched it last. It's going to stay with Texas Tech. When we come back, with 11:25 to go and a 7-point lead for West Virginia. 24, and West Virginia won that game in double overtime, 83-74. It was a really tough loss for Tech, because after that they lost to Iowa State in overtime. Tech looked like they were headed to the NCAA tournament. They just hit a tailspin at the end of the regular season, lost 4 of their last 5, then lost to Texas in the Big 12 tournament and did not make the NCAA tournament.
Well, with the way this league is built, it's easy to go into a tailspin, because you've got somebody each night in the Big 12 who can lose to anybody.
Able to throw it into the backcourt on the inbounds, Zaire Smith.
West Virginia going with a little zone here. Good call out of the timeout.
3 from Moretti. That's the first made 3 of the half for either team. Tech had missed their first 4. West Virginia's 0 for 5 so far from beyond the arc here in the second half.
And a really smart play by Keenan Evans to drive that zone. He finds Moretti, who finally knocks down a 3.
Carter, Culver on him. Where's he going to go with it? He's just going to flip it up there. Long outlet. Evans taking it to the rim. Kanate's jumper deflected out, and it's last touch by Tech, staying with the Mountaineers in this 2-point game.
Sagaba Kanate really fortunate. We're going to see Keenan Evans doing a great job of just penetrating the zone. And Moretti finds nothing but net. A little run out. You see Kanate coming into the play. He's got 2 fouls, but at this point, why aren't you going to challenge it? It's what you are. Really been a non-factor defending the rim tonight.
The officials conferred with one another about who that was out on. They're saying it was last touched by Tech. So West Virginia and Ahmad, a foul. Odiase the block, but the foul comes first.
And that is a freshman. I don't want to say it's a mistake, but just knowing that you've got a big behind you. You're in the right position. There's no need to reach down. You've got a guy coming behind you that can block shots.
Foul
he was coming
Culver.
over.
Yeah, his second foul on Culver. Now this afternoon on ESPN, it's a college hoops doubleheader. Number 21, Kentucky taking on Vandy at 4 Eastern. And then 20th ranked North Carolina and Notre Dame from South Bend. Both these games part of our Saturday showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy. And they both stream on the ESPN app also. Both free throws for Ahmad. Back up to a 4-point edge for West Virginia. Midway through half number 2 in Lubbock, Texas.
Texas Tech needs to handle this 1-3-1. Get the ball moving. Get the ball. Got to flatten it. Get to the corners. There you go.
Francis. Back-to-back threes over the zone. 1-point lead, and Bob Huggins wants a timeout. Finally started to hit that outside shot.
Well, the 3-point shot has awoken here in Lubbock. We got a good one. Going down to the wire.
It's a 10-point deficit down to 1 for Chris Beard's team. Wanting to get this crowd into it. They are in it. They've only lost 3 times at home the last 2 seasons. Unbeaten this year. Last year losing in conference play at home to Oklahoma State, Iowa State, and Kansas. Meanwhile, West Virginia's gone cold. They've missed their last 6 from the floor. Miles back in the game. Odiase has it on the baseline.
And he had him. Just didn't see him initially in the late pass. Texas Tech able to recover.
Moretti. West got a hand on that to block it. Carter with the drive. Flips it to the corner. Harris ends the drought for West Virginia.
And that is a great play by Javon Carter to push the basketball, put pressure on this Texas Tech defense, and find Wesley Harris, who was wide open in the strong side corner.
First field goal of the game for Harris. It was a made three.
Texas Tech needs to keep moving this ball. Cannot fall in love with quick shots. You know they've gotten some here, been able to score off some. Got to keep running your offense.
Zaire Smith just kind of flipped it up there like he was anticipating contact. Carter. Ahmad. Odiase got the body though. That's the third on Odiase. Chris Beard, a native of the Dallas area, grew up in Irving, Texas. West Virginia not bad from the line, but with that miss, now 10 of 14. One of two for Issa Ahmad, and it's 53-48 Mountaineers.
An important possession here for the Red Raiders. A little sloppy on the offensive end as they went on their run. Need to get something good.
Evans for Odiase. One dribble. Goes up with the right hand and scores.
And a very good job of getting to his strong hand and taking his time. Really a patient finish there. And nothing Konate could do on the defensive end.
Carter, the smart player that he is, leans in. Another on Odiase. So that's two quick ones on Odiase. And now his fourth overall. Under 8 minutes to go in Lubbock in a 3-point game.
Tell me you love me. Get your hands off me.
Don't miss Siesta Key. Returns this Monday at 10 on MTV.
With Coach Seth Greenberg, I'm Adnan Burke, updating you on Oregon and Arizona. Parker Jackson Cartwright here.
Parker Jackson Cartwright's got to make shots to open up the floor so they can play through DeAndre Ayton.
Games on ESPN2. Ducks right now leading it by 3. Also coming up next, Dickie V in the house for Kentucky and Vanderbilt. This game will start on the ESPN app and SEC Alternate Network reports right here on ESPN. Mark, back to you.
Yeah, Dan, we'll get you to Nashville soon enough, but we got a good game going here in Lubbock. Bob Huggins Mountaineers up 3. 2 shots coming here for Javon Carter, who drains the first. It becomes a 2-possession game. Texas Tech, though, Robbie, has done a better job getting the ball in the paint.
And with the dribble drive, they've been able to find some driving lanes and then dump it off also to some of the bigs, some of the recipients of those points. But just a better effort, a concerted effort really by Chris Beard's team to get the ball in the paint. And right now, I'm not sure what the holdup is, and I think Chris Beard would like to know that same answer.
Well, Bob Huggins had the ear of official Rick Crawford, and that conversation was going on a while. Carter wasn't going to attempt the free throw, wasn't going to be allowed to in that conversation until it ended, and now Chris Beard's like, hey, what's the holdup? What's the confusion? Now Huggins wants a further explanation from Rick Crawford. This coming while there are free throws being shot, so I would just be guessing here, but there must be something from a standpoint of clerical, number of fouls on which players.
Right, or who the foul was on.
Yeah.
It was very clear who was on it. Javon Carter got Odiase in the air.
Jerry Pollard, our lead official now, with the ball under his arm, heading back under the basket. But now Rick Crawford's got to look like not sure. He just kind of shrugged his shoulders. So here comes the second free throw finally from Javon Carter. He hits both to make it a 5-point lead. Daxter Miles out there defensively playing with 4 fouls here, Robbie. Is that somebody maybe you want to try to get foul number 5 on?
I would think, especially if you're Keenan Evans, you're a guy that can get to the rim. Got to be aggressive in this matchup.
Francis backs it up as Ahmad watches. Francis gets in the lane, kicks it out. Evans passed up the open 3, and then a little tap there from Javon Carter. And that's going to be a 1-and-1 now for Texas Tech after the 18 foul against the Mountaineers. Foul number 3 against Carter.
Well, Brandon Francis was able to get in the lane, and really he had Zaire Smith for an open 3. Smith not ready to shoot, and we just saw Francis walk by him and say, "You got to be ready to shoot, man."
Evans hits the front end, so Texas Tech today 16 of 17 from the line. Culver's going to come out. Hamilton, big 6'11" grad transfer Tommy Hamilton back in the game. West departs for West Virginia. Free throws have been a big story for Texas Tech today. Keeping them close. Gray returns. Crowd back on their feet. Ahmad loses it going up. Tech ball. Ahmad holding his eye like he got poked in the eye. Seven minutes to go in regulation. I mentioned that since these teams played 2 overtime games a year ago. A 3 from Evans.
Well, that's your senior going and make a senior play.
Well, they say it's a 2. That's significant. It's not tied. It's 55-54. Travel, Carter, Tech ball.
Texas Tech getting some things done on the defensive end. Back on the offensive end of the floor. Not a great possession. Really not much going on. And Keenan Evans bails out. This offense makes a huge shot.
Texas Tech largest lead today has been just 1 point, and that was very late in the first half. They have been playing uphill, so to speak, most of the game, playing from behind.
West Virginia really denying everything. Got to have somebody go make a play.
Francis makes a shot instead, and Tech's up. Carter, a 2. Wow. A big-time player making a big-time shot.
And he silences the crowd. Just a big-time step back.
And then he goes for the foul, or goes for the steal a little too aggressively, and just picked up his 4th foul.
And sends Texas Tech 94 feet down the floor to shoot a 1-and-1.
So Miles has 4. Carter with 4 fouls.
Still a lot of time left in this basketball game. Foul trouble becoming a storyline here.
Some of you may have seen Kansas get all they could handle from K-State in Lawrence earlier. Jayhawks hung on. So West Virginia needing a win to stay unbeaten in conference and by themselves atop the Big 12. If they were to fall here, we'd have a logjam at the top. Gray sinks the front end.
Beto Bolden subbing back in the game. You think about a guy, he's played 2 minutes tonight.
With 3 fouls.
And now you get put back in with 5:40 to go. You got to think. Definitely difficult as a player when you've dealt with foul trouble to be in any sort of offensive rhythm.
So Javon Carter hasn't been out of the game much in this game for West Virginia, but they'll play without him now. They're down 1. Miles playing with 4 fouls. He wants to hand off to Ahmad. Good defense from Tech. 2 to shoot. Miles a long 3. Ahmad, the putback. That won't fall. Evans saw a crease and lays it in. The largest lead for the Red Raiders.
Well, Keenan Evans saw a matchup he liked, and Chris Beard and everybody retreat to the baseline. And Evans showing his ability to get to the rim.
Bolden. Tip. Ahmad. Loose. Miles gets the scoop. Wide open. Harris has all day to line it up and drains it. It's tied at 60.
And credit Issa Ahmad for keeping that basketball alive. Great job by West Virginia finding the open man out of the scrum. And a huge shot by Wesley Harris.
Evans again trying to take it to the rim, and an offensive foul. Bolden taking the charge that time. There's a kid who's been playing with 3 fouls, the limited minutes he's had, and makes a big defensive play for the Mountaineers. And it's the 4th on Evans. Sports Center tonight, 11 Eastern on ESPN with Bucci and Zubin. Full breakdown of Raptors Warriors. Plus, they'll show you how Oklahoma's Trae Young did against TCU this time around. Also, the NFL playoffs and everything else on Sports Center, 11 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. Carter's come back in. Carter the drive. Gray just got a finger on it to keep it from getting to the rim.
What a block by Zaire Smith. Or Justin Gray, excuse me. Huge block.
Francis with 14 points off the bench. He looks to add to that and does. The team's trading big shots. Tech by 3. Ahmad. Bam! West Virginia ties it back up.
Well, welcome back, Issa Ahmad. Just stepping in to a top 10 matchup and making a huge shot. Cannot leave him from the strong side corner even.
16 points for Ahmad in his first game of the year. Kanate could not adjust that shot enough. It still finds the hole.
And that is a freshman making a huge play in crunch time, getting to the rim and finishing with his left hand. Your Texas Tech got to keep stringing together stops. Got to close possessions down on the defensive glass as well.
Carter passed up the 3 but nails the 2. 65 all. Back and forth we go in Lubbock.
That's just ice cold right there. So calm, so poised. Javon Carter showing off why you said NBA scouts are moving him up draft boards.
Ahmad. That foul on him will be his 2nd. Timeout. If you go anywhere, you're nuts. Won a game in Lubbock. Tied at 65.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by 5-Hour Energy Shots. Get back to 100%.
I have an hour's worth of energy.
Beat K-State by 1 in Lawrence. Oklahoma gets by TCU in overtime, and right now West Virginia, they have the nation's longest winning streak. It's in jeopardy. They're tied with Texas Tech with 2:07 to go in Lubbock. 15 straight wins since they lost their opener to Texas A&M in Germany. 2 shots here for Stevenson out of the timeout. Texas Tech is 20 of 21 from the foul line.
No, it's as simple as just you've taken advantage of your opportunities at the line. And I thought really for Stevenson to get to the line, made a great play, turning down a semi-open 3, head faked, tuck closeout, drives by him, gets to the rim, and gets 2 free throws. Got to beat Javon Carter. I'd put him in pick and roll and let him make a play.
Miles and Carter both playing with 4 fouls for West Virginia. Kanate loses it, gets it back, and then is fouled. He's going to shoot a 1-and-1. That's on Francis, his 3rd.
West Virginia went to their flex action, and really fortunate that Kanate was able to come up with that ball and draw the foul. Pretty well defended by Texas Tech until right at the end, when again reached down, probably a good foul because he had something at the rim.
Well, they say he was in the act of shooting, so he's getting 2 shots. But I can understand why there was some confusion on that. West Virginia trying to stay unbeaten in conference. OU, Kansas, both won today. They're each at 4-1. Tech trying to become 4-1 with a win here. So a 1-point game, 1:49 left. Freshman Jarrett Culver has returned for Texas Tech.
Good little offense for defense substitution right there by Chris Beard.
West Virginia drops back into the half-court defense.
They're going 2-3 zone. Tech got to try to get the basketball in the middle, get the basketball in the short corners, and work out from there. A lot of standing around thus far. Got to make a play in a hurry. 10 on the shot clock.
Tech shooting nearly 60% here in the second half. Kanate came down on top of Zaire Smith. I don't want the basket to count, but that's not going to be the situation here.
Well, again, Keenan Evans just making a play, and he finds Zaire Smith, and there's a player grabbing the rim when that shot's going up.
That's a different story then.
That is a different story indeed. And a break for West Virginia.
That's why the Red Raiders were wanting the goaltend call. So now the defense switch, put Culver on the bench.
You bring back a senior who's made plays, maybe not scored the ball, but has been a factor in this game.
Just the 2nd free throw miss in 24 tries today for Texas Tech. Timeout. Bob Huggins and West Virginia. Let's check in with the studio and Adnan Virk.
All right, guys, so Kentucky at Vanderbilt. Once again, action is underway. 6-all right now. It's available on the ESPN app or on SEC Ultra if you want to see. Wildcats get it on right now. That game's coming up here on ESPN, but I tell you, the action continues in Lubbock. Back to Mark and Robbie.
I tell you what, Adnan, we still have 1:16 left. I don't know what to expect here, Robbie. This has been quite a second half, especially. Texas Tech has found their offense here in half number 2, and they were, for a segment there, just going shot for shot with one another.
Really like a heavyweight fight here. Both teams landing blows, trading baskets. You got to think it's going to be the team that can get the last stop of the game is going to win this one here in Lubbock. But you have to be happy for these fans, because you look at their basketball history, they're still learning how to have a successful basketball team here. And you look at the crowd here tonight, really been a great atmosphere.
West Virginia takes it out after their timeout. Just one timeout left for the Mountaineers. Tech has 3. Keep that in mind. A 3 from West. Odiase with the rebound for Texas Tech. A minute to go. Texas Tech has the ball in a 2-point lead.
West Virginia showing zone again. See what Keenan Evans can find this time in the pick and roll.
Evans tried to lean into Miles. Threw it up there and hits the long 2. It's a 2-possession game. Carter quickly to the rim, off the left side. Odiase, the rebound, foul Kanate. West Virginia's 15-game winning streak in serious jeopardy. 2 shots coming for Odiase. His first trip to the line today. Just a 56% foul shooter on the year. That one did everything but go in.
And if you're West Virginia, still a lot of time, and you don't need a 3. Plenty of time left. 29.6 seconds. Right now, you've got guards in Daxter Miles, Javon Carter. You're giving them the ball. You're just telling them to go make a play. They can get to the rim. A lot of game left, regardless of a make or miss here.
1 and 2.
Keenan Evans has shown what's made him really what everybody in this conference knows. I mean, it's no surprise or no secret in Big 12 circles. This guy can flat out play. But he's made plays for himself. He's found others. Really played like one of the best players in the conference. And I think with Trae Young, Javon Carter, he kind of gets left out a little bit in the elite point guard discussion here in this league. But he's right there. And today he's showed it.
Three from the left side from Ahmad. Kanade couldn't get the rebound. Smith does. He's fouled with 15 seconds to go. A crucial possession for the Mountaineers. They come up empty. Still some time left, but it's looking like there's going to be a 3-way tie atop the Big 12 at the end of the day.
This shot goes up, and so that's a play on at this point. End of the game.
Just 2 players going after a rebound.
That's nothing there. Kanate is still pleading his case and talking to the officials, but I think they did a good job there of letting that play on.
Well short, which is significant. He had a chance going to the line here to make it a 3-possession game. Freshman Zaire Smith, 1 of 2. A 6-point game, so it stays a 2-possession game, 72-66. But now you're at the point, Robbie, I would think, that a 3-point shot is in the cards.
You got to get a 3, and you've seen West Virginia has in the past ran some hammer action where you have a guy like Javon Carter speed down the sideline, have him drive to the baseline, and on the weak side, you have a big comeback and crack a shooter for a screen to the opposite corner. You know, but you just got to get a good look. You could play some pick and roll. Lots of options here. Lots of guys that are capable of making threes here.
Quick check with Adnan Burke.
All right, Mark, thank you. At last check, Kentucky's now on a 7-0 run. So 13-6 over Vanderbilt on the ESPN app and SEC Alternate Network. It'll be right here next on ESPN. Back to you, Mark.
Well, Adnan, we've seen this movie before in the Big 12. It's called the Big 12 Gauntlet. You might come in undefeated and have 15 straight wins like West Virginia has. But they're in a tough spot here. They need a quick three. Carter spinning. Ahmad. They're going to give him the 2. It's still a 2-possession game with 6.5 seconds left. You'll take that if you're Texas Tech.
No, that's okay. And you're just defending the three-point line. A 2 is not going to hurt you. Now you just got to get the basketball inbounds and hold on to that ball. You know, there's 6 seconds to go. So obviously the 10-second in the backcourt is irrelevant. But you got to make sure you have people make themselves available to the pass, so you can't leave them stranded on the baseline. It's a lonely feeling as a guy throwing the ball in when there's nobody open. Fortunately, Texas Tech does have a timeout, but you got to make sure you give that guy options.
If Texas Tech hangs on, it would be their 5th win this year against the top 25 team. That would be the first time in their school history that they have that many top 25 wins in a single season.
And you talk about building a resume for the NCAA tournament, and they are absolutely doing just that. Tough one in Norman, but you lose to the number 9 team on the road. That's not going to hurt you. And today, a huge opportunity to beat the number 2 team in the country.
Well, thanks to the fact that Texas Tech has found their offense here in the second half, it was free throws really that kept them in the game in the first half. Then they found their shots from the field in half number 2.
Yeah, it really kept them afloat, but you got to credit Texas Tech of doing a better job of getting the basketball into the painted area, not settling for just throwing the ball around the perimeter.
West Virginia needs a quick steal badly. They're going to throw long instead for Smith.
Oh, boy.
And out of bounds. He did touch it.
That's a huge. The fact that he touched it is huge.
Otherwise, there would have been an inbounds back underneath the West Virginia basket. Instead, West Virginia's got to go 94 feet. The fact that Zaire Smith touched that with a fingernail probably is significant. And a little bit of time ran off the clock. Coach Huggins thinks a little bit too much time ran off the clock. And he wanted to know if that ball was touched. Not much time. Carter, a 3. Got it. Under a second left. A 1-point game. Inbounds. Texas Tech wins. It's a court storming in Lubbock. Chris Beard and the Red Raiders have another signature win as they down West Virginia 72-71. For Robbie Hummel and our entire crew, I'm Mark Dealer. Thanks for sharing this one with us. Let's get you to Wisconsin and Vital in Nashville.